So you want to start this one or should I?
Now let me do it.
Okay.
So the most common question many people ask us, the paranormal investigators and the researchers all over the globe, is why do you investigate the paranormal? What's the fun? Do you have any vision, mission, or anything? Like, what's the point? There are so many things to do in this world. Why investigate the paranormal? You know, so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of the Haunted India podcast where we talk about anything and anything that is paranormal. And on this episode, we are going to talk, what is that very thing that drives or, keeps us, the paranormal investigators, investigate the paranormal with so much of passion and dedication, you know and and I'm pretty sure, before we start or jump into this topic, I'm pretty sure there would be many people who investigate the paranormal. They are, they have a past, they have a story, there is a reason they are investigating. Though there is a major section of the community where they began investigating the paranormal because they just wanted to, or they had just a mere curiosity to understand the paranormal. But many people that I have met, they have a story, and I'm pretty sure you must be having a lot.
Not just a story. I, in fact, have stories to share, actually, why I got into investigating the paranormal. So, for me, if I, well, it actually went in three stages for me. So, I would just share all the three in brief. I don't want to get into complete details. I'll just
It can be, it's fine, but then
no,
yeah,
it'll take an entire episode, so I'll just stick to the
squeeze in, yeah.
yeah. So for me, well, it all began when I was a little girl, somewhere like between 4 to 8 years of age, where I remembered my past lives. And I have freaked my parents out enough because they had no clue. I used to speak all weird stuff and they had no clue what I was talking.
Weird, like what kind of?
Things that they had no connection to this life.
Oh,
Yes. So they had no idea initially, but it was, only when they tried to find out, they realized, and, they came to know
they
that
did. Seriously, they tried to
yeah, they did
find
find
out.
out because I'm going to a place for the very first time as a 5-year-old girl, and I give all details about that place. They were getting freaked that what the hell is she talking?
What if I ask, what is that place? Would you?
Yeah, I don't mind sharing that. That was Mahabaleshwar.
Uh-huh.
And I spoke things, and that was my very first visit as a 5-year-old girl. And when they tried to find things out from the locals there, it completely matched. So they were
Now
totally
imagine going, your parents and asking to their local. So we have got a daughter who is saying stuff, weird stuff. Would you mind just confirming?
they did that. They had no choice because I was
And
actually freaking them out enough.
and the local guy would be like, I have no
What?
idea what you're saying, but yes, that thing did exist.
It did happen. It did happen. And it was only when they found things out, that why am I speaking like this and what is all this about, they got to know that, I was actually carrying imprints of my previous lives.
So they
It
believed in
was,
previous
yeah,
lives.
they were very open to that. They did believe in previous lives, but they never expected their own daughter would be, one of them who would actually remember. So yeah, for me it started from then. And yes, this actually was it played a very important role in my learning past life regression, because even like I've heard the stories from my parents, and it kind of always intrigued me. And yes, it was a big reason for me becoming a past life regression therapist. And anyway, this was the first. The second was somewhere around my teens, when I started actually getting premonitions. Now
Like,
these yeah, like I could know things in advance before they actually happened. They were very mild initially, but
So you know, for all those who are listening, I know the facts, I know the stories. The reason I'm putting questions so that we touch every point that we wish to share with you people, and that you people know everything that we have gone through, and that's the reason I am putting questions in between. So yeah, I do know her. So yeah, please continue.
yeah, so initially those premonitions were mild and I kept pushing them back until this particular incident that happened which actually shook me to the core. And this was when I had actually foreseen my mom's accident a few days prior to her actual head-on collision with a truck. And this incident was too huge. I mean, it had a huge impact for me because I was in fear. I didn't want to know such things in
Yeah, I just
advance,
wanted to ask. So, like you just said, it was like you had a fear that you don't want to know what is going to happen.
Yeah.
But, it's like it can go personal right now. But did you feel anything like, that I saw something that it was about to happen, but I couldn't do anything to stop it?
Yes, absolutely. Because I tried stopping her. I was sounding stupid when I was like, ki mat jao and don't go because I don't feel good. And I didn't tell her completely that this is what I've foreseen, but I tried stopping her in every way. That
But so like yeah, completely coming talking something out of the topic. So like you are psychic, and you saw your mother encountering an accident. Imagine other people, those who are psychic, they having the same thing, but they have no idea what they're going through.
there are many, many, many.
I think we should have a different separate episode for this.
Yes,
And we
because
can
there
talk
are,
on this.
yeah, there are many who are actually undergoing this and they have no clue what is happening with them. So anyway, I'll come to this later. I will just remind me. I will be coming to this point later.
And comment down below if you are also a psychic and you feel like no one understands you, then you have found someone who understands what you're going through. So comment down below whatever you're going through, or feel free to text us, mail us, and we'll get back to you.
So this was the second incident in my life. And the third one was, it was a major jolt and I mean, basically, I was, even after this incident, I was not ready for it. I kept pushing this behind that, I'm still not ready to.
So did you realize that you were forcing things? Like you had, like you completely got it in a way ke you understood that you are someone who can see future.
Yeah, I knew that what was happening with me, but at the same time, I had this fear of rejection. Fear of rejection, as in, I didn't have anyone to talk to, I didn't have anyone to tell what I was going through, and whenever I tried speaking about it, I was laughed at. So I just kept quiet. I didn't discuss it with anyone until I actually, like, later, like, the third stage that I'm just telling you. It was only after that I actually started researching and actually jumped into the field that this is it. I cannot play hide and seek anymore. I have to find my answers. So anyway, so the third and the final push that I got was when I actually experienced paranormal activities in my house. Right from hearing voices in the middle of the night, to knocks, to footsteps, to malfunctioning and burning of the electrical appliances in my house, for which, the electrician had no logical answer. Lot of things were happening. My family was facing things. My maid was puking black stuff. Lot of things happening, which was so scary back then, so scary. But then I was like, that is it. I have to find my answers. What is this happening with me? Right from remembering my past lives to getting premonitions to facing these paranormal activities. I mean, why me? And what is it that was happening with me? So this is what, actually pushed me into researching and gradually in becoming an investigator, and yes, and in developing my psychic abilities, because I wanted to know what I was going through. And what exactly was happening with me?
So it was, yeah, so it was like more of something that you went through personally, and
Absolutely, yes.
so, but in my case, it was a different thing. I have shared it many a times in my interviews, but I do like to share it because it really, gives us, me personally, a reason to why we are doing this, which will come to later. But yeah, like I grew up in a very conservative middle class family where ghost stories were very much common and were used to scare children to make them sleep. And I grew up the same way, listening to ghost stories, demonic stories, urban legends and myths, following the myths and superstitions. So that's how I grew up. I remember at one point I was, with my uncle at my uncle's place, and my uncle was trying to make me sleep by saying this story that, so there is a tree behind the house which opens up every full moon night, and a lady in white would come out of the tree and would grab anyone who is not sleeping. So, as a kid, that scared me, even though I know it's bullshit right now and it's a bad, bad, bad story, but still a good movie for Bollywood. So, yeah, not going deep into that, but yeah, I got scared, and so that's how I grew up. Also, fortunately or unfortunately, my father works in a public sector unit, and every place we shifted to, so my father used to shift every 5 to 6 years, and every place we shifted to was haunted. And how do I know it? Because I used to experience things no one else was going through. I remember when I was around 3 or 4, I was lying on the sofa in the middle of the noon, and I saw a complete apparition moving across the room, and the apparition was, pitch black, and I could see it for my naked eyes. Like I was not dreaming. And yes, there were many, oh, you were a kid, and that's why you were, having imaginations, things or something. But no, dude, I know what I saw. And then we shifted to a different place, and I was around 9 to 10 years old or more, and I again started experiencing things. Again there was things happening in one of the rooms that we were staying. I would see a shadow walking right in front of the room that I was sleeping. And I also remember that I was so scared of what was going through, of the darkness and the things that were happening with me, that I started faking my illness so that my mother could stay awake the entire night and I could sleep peacefully knowing that someone is awake and is looking after me. It was like it was affecting me emotionally, mentally, and it was affecting my studies. It was affecting me in every single way. And it was so much that I started questioning that are they real, or is it just my imagination? Because as a kid, like I said, I grew up listening to ghost stories. So there was this thin line where I was confused that whatever I'm seeing, is it a projection of uh, the stories that I heard or the things that I'm watching on the TV. Because I never used to like those TV serials back then, like Ahat and those ghost TV shows that were going on. But my father used to love, so I had no option than to sit with him and watch, which was painful for me at that time.
So most of us basically wanted answers.
Yeah, so that is what happened. So when I was around 15 or 16, one noon, I was doing nothing, just doing random stuff, and a question hits me, and it's like, what is that thing that I'm fearing to? Is it something that can kill me? Is it something that we watch on television? Is it something that I have heard in stories? Is it something that has long nails, or has or wears a white sari or a white attire or something? What is that thing? And to all those questions is what I got was an answer. A common answer that I got was that I am fearing something that I don't know. Basically, because the question that I had, they had no answer. I couldn't find an answer to it. So basically, I was fearing the unknown, something that I don't know, and it is pretty much common in everyone, in every field.
So you were finding answers of your fears, the reasons of your fears.
I was basically trying to find the unknowns. I was trying to know what was unknown to me, and that is how I started researching and the paranormal. I met I met with a lot of people. The only thing that I started initially was reading online blogs and stories and experiences, and gradually and slowly, that is how I got over my fear. And you may say my journey into the paranormal was a journey overcoming my fear. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah,
But I'm
so
pretty sure everyone
yeah,
has
so
his own story.
everyone, I mean, all investigators, we have our own reasons and stories of actually investigating the paranormal. But there is this, something that keeps everyone going, each one of us, that driving force that you call,
That fire inside that keeps us
Yes.
burning to do something, that passion.
Yes. So, what's yours?
In my case, so when I was getting in touch with so many people, asking them about the experience, that one common thing that I noticed was a kid who was only 7 years old, and a guy who was, or an old person who was in his 60s and 70s. They were all fearing the same thing. They were fearing the darkness, they were fearing the paranormal. And that is what gave me a message, or that is what, like, lit the fire inside, saying that just overcoming my own fear is not the mission right now.
There's something more to it.
Exactly, because I personally, I say this very often, that fear sometimes can cause a lot of pain and anxiety. It's a whole
Absolutely.
different kind of pain when people have fear, and I have gone through it. And I seriously had no intention to let people go through the same emotions and same phase, basically, because that was, I like I said, I know personally what how I felt.
See,
And even in your case, when like you said, you were running away from people because no one was understanding you.
yeah.
Same goes for fear. People don't understand the fear of paranormal. They will just, like my parents and many of my friends did, and it's not their fault. They just say that, "Anai, tu bahut TV dekh raha hai." That's the only reason you are fearing the paranormal, which is completely wrong. So
And I mean, as I always say that, fear, it is a natural instinct. It is
it
there.
has to be.
It is natural, but
Yeah.
anything that is a little blown out of
That is
balance
the
or proportion
problem.
is what creates
Yeah,
the
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
And in our case, it happened the same.
Same way.
Like
And
faking
my
illness,
illness, yes.
absolutely. I mean, that's not normal.
Exactly.
So,
And I know how difficult, like, I had to keep a pillow on my head even though there was AC and coolers going on, and I had to just force the pillow on my face so that there is no air that is coming inside and I could sweat. And that's how
yeah.
my mother knew that I had fever, and now it's something.
Yeah, and
So
even in, like, even where in my case, when I started actually researching on psychic abilities, what I saw that, I mean, it was not just me, as I mentioned earlier, it's not just me. There are so many who are actually, they have enhanced psychic abilities, but there are so many who are not aware of it, or they don't know what is exactly happening with them. And sometimes if they are aware, they do not want to talk about it,
yeah,
like,
but then before you get into like you just asked what drives me. So like I just said, helping out these people and making sure that they are all right. They may have all other kind of fear. I have no problem, because those fears can be tackled some way or the other, but the fear of the paranormal needs to be taken, or needs to be, like they say, handled with care. That's the tag the fear of the paranormal comes with, and that is what gives me personally the passion to keep working, because I understand, and we understand, that through our work we can educate a lot of people, and show them that what is the real paranormal and what is a fear to it.
absolutely, absolutely. Same way, like, like yeah, like we have seen people being exploited in the name of paranormal. So they need to know what actually paranormal is. And as I was mentioning about the psychics, those who are not aware, or sometimes they are aware but they do not want to talk about it, or they are even not taken seriously sometimes. Like I had during my counseling sessions, I have come across Many people like this. Now, I had this young lady. I will keep the identity safe. I won't mention the name. So she,
Let's just say Katrina Kaif.
whoever. Okay. So now she was undergoing heavy medication because her family had declared that she had some sort of a mental disorder, and she was put on heavy medication. And she got to know about pairs, and she got in touch with me. And after few minutes of talking to her, it was a clear case of enhanced psychic abilities. Now this girl is a clairvoyant, and she is a clairaudient, where she can see and she can hear things that a normal person cannot. Now this was not being understood by her family, and she was put on heavy medication. I mean, I was feeling so bad for her. So it's really important for people to get this basic knowledge, and this is what drives me to spread an awareness, whether it's about the psychic abilities, that there are people around having enhanced psychic abilities, and have actually seen them turn into depression when they don't get understood. So yes, this awareness needs to spread, whether it's psychic, whether it's paranormal, or
And that, so now you know how pairs was formed basically. So her, like yours, experiences and ambitions and missions, plus my passion to help out people and everything, is what made us form pairs and carry out our work together by blending whatever we want to in terms of helping out people. But then it's not very common where you bump into a person who believes in the paranormal or has a paranormal experience or is a paranormal researcher or is a psychic, and it's very rare. And like I said this many a times, you don't choose the paranormal. The paranormal world chooses you. Like you can
Absolutely.
you can think of your own self in a world of 3 billion people. I don't know the exact count, but let's say the world has 3 billion.
7.
I don't care. X number of people, and out of X billions of people, we have only a bunch of people, those who are investigating the paranormal for no apparent reasons. And by no apparent reason, I mean they might not have a reason, but they are still paranormal investigators, which also puts them into the categories that in so many in a world where there are so many topics to talk about, to research on, they are also finding paranormal more connected to as compared to other fields. So it clearly shows that the world, that particular world, it chooses the, like, it's like we are the chosen ones in the paranormal field. They are not very
Yeah, so I mean, it's whether the paranormal that is choosing you, which is true, that happens most of the times, or whether.
it happens always. Why? Because like I just
Yeah.
said, so many people, why only bunch of people doing that, or a bunch of people believing in that,
Or whether it is, you feel that yes, you are chosen for this field, or whether it is your passion that is driving you. I would say that yes, we all are supposed to follow our passion, and not just follow our passion, we are supposed to invest in our passion. As in, it's very important to get the right knowledge, whatever, take courses up. Do not just jump into it. I would say don't just jump into becoming a paranormal investigator, but yes, learn, maybe take up courses, learn from people who are experienced and really best in this field. I won't use the term expert though, because somehow I mean, this is my personal feeling that paranormal is still a world of the unknown, and you cannot be an expert of the unknown.
it's a vast subject and a vast world and a vast field, and you keep learning. Like, even though I personally have been investigating or researching the paranormal for the last 6 years, but every time I go to investigate a place or counsel a client, I learn something new.
Always. I mean, it's like
And
learn and grow. You learn, grow, learn. Just keep learning.
yeah, so just watching, not just watching or just reading one article is not going to help you. You have to go through a lot. You have to experiment. You have to see it to believe it. And that's how you are. That's how you should get into the paranormal, and that's what we suggest. There are many people who try to conduct Ouija board sessions or seances, which we deny completely or do not recommend, because it's completely fine to have an Ouija board session. Why? We'll talk sometime in one of our episodes, but let me just say you, it's fine if done under controlled environment, that too with having a proper investigator with you or a person who
A
knows how
proper
to deal. Yeah,
knowledge. Yes, a proper knowledge. Please do not venture into the
yeah, that's
paranormal
what we do.
without knowledge.
That's
That's very
why we
important.
deny, and that's
Yeah.
why we deny that. Do not conduct such things. Do not go into the haunted locations just because you have the urge to investigations, because you have to see, especially if you are in India, that if you are going to investigate the paranormal in an abandoned house more than ghost, the only thing that you need to fear or be scared is the reptiles, the people who are taking drugs, or the goons, or any other physical thing that could harm you for the rest of your life. So so before you get into a place, make sure you have your research ready. Make sure you know if there is any human being present, if there is any place where you could get hurt physically, not from the spiritual world. And after all those things are done, that is when you should enter. The world of paranormal is no doubt full of fun, adventure, and risk, but if not handled with care, it could be really, really risky for anyone. Otherwise, for people those who really want to investigate the paranormal, you should, because it's really fun, and it is going to teach you a lot of things.
There are so
Paranormal.
many aha moments. I mean, it's like every
Exactly,
time.
and not just to the paranormal world, but it teaches you many life lessons. It shows the world, it shows, like, to you, it will show how the world really works, on an emotional and on spiritual level. And it really gives, or will make you feel gratitude for the life you have.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because after investigating so many places, we have understood what we see the pains the souls go through after they die, because they have no one to share their feelings, no one to talk to, and it is really painful for them. So whatever you have, I think this will be like my final message,
Yeah.
is that for the life that you have, please be in gratitude. Please thank yourself, your higher self, and to every single one who is contributing in the growth of your life, because the life you have got, many people don't get it. And and if you have one, make it worth living. And like Pooja just said, if you have a passion not just to investigate the paranormal, make sure you invest it, because if you are having a dream and you are not fulfilling it, there is no point in dreaming. So
Yes.
you
And
know
gratitude is the key. Always stay in gratitude for what you have. The rest will be taken care of.
exactly. And I think
So, yeah, that is it.
that will be it. But before that, I will give out 3 shout outs to where you people can follow us, and stay updated with the events and the investigations that we are doing. So the first account you can follow on Instagram is our pairs account, the Parapsychology and Investigation Research Society, the organization that is running the podcast. If you are on Instagram, just go to just search paranormal underscore India underscore pairs, PAIRS, and you will find the Instagram account. The second account you can follow is the person sitting next to me, my partner in crime, Pooja. And if you want to follow her, just search paranormal underscore POOJA 2828. That's her code. If you want to vote on Dance India Dance, go and vote. No, it's for
What?
Instagram. So it's paranormal underscore Pooja 2828. And if you want to follow me, Sarbajit Mohanty, go to paranormal underscore SARBAJEET Sarbajit M. SARBAJEET. That's our Instagram handles. Go follow us, and if you have any questions, any topics that you want us to discuss on the podcast, or if you want to be on the podcast, I think we can get people to talk on the podcast. If you have a proper story or things to share, we will try.
Yes, we would love to have you here.
You know?
So do comment, do share, do like. And yes, as I always say, you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud. So yeah, so that is it for now.
Yeah,
And
it's that's it.
we will see you next week.
Yeah,
Until
with
then.
a new topic, and we have a very special episode lined up after this.
Yes.
And I think if you have not subscribed to us yet on iTunes or not following us on SoundCloud,
What are
and
you waiting for?
Exactly, and just go and subscribe us on YouTube, follow us on SoundCloud, and subscribe us on iTunes, and just be ready for the topics that we're coming up with. Till then, bye bye.
Bye.